Okay, here we go through the third roundtable session. The title of the roundtable is Gas Industry Responses to Energy and Environmental Challenges. Here we have the moderator, Daniel Heck, General Secretary, Marco Gazza, Technical Association of the European Natural Gas. Then we have Bernard Bletz, Deputy Director of CRIGEN R&D Center, Gaz de France Suez. Henk Hensing, Communication Department of Gasterra. Stephen Marland, Future Project and Innovation Manager, National Grid Gas. And then Werner Wessing, R&D Department Manager of E.ON. Okay, now we have some slide. The gas subject is very interesting because we know we come from decades. We have been using especially petrol and carbon. The difficulty of gas is to transport gas. This is why you need a very long pipe or something like this. This is the historical reason for which is less used than the liquid fuels, for example. But it's very, very clean. And now we know that there are a lot of opportunity to catch gas from the ground and to produce gas by biological method and so on. So it's very interesting challenges.
Okay.
Please.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everybody. I have the difficult task to keep you awake at the end of the day, but the gas industry will try to reach this challenge. Just a few slides in introduction. I'm looking for my slides, please. Yes, those ones. Thank you. Can go forward. Okay. Well, first thing, this is the motto of the gas industry. Natural gas cares for the world. And why that? I mean, it's not only a commercial motto, of course, but we are trying to explain why natural gas is so important today. It's important because it's the cleanest fossil fuel today. The benefits of natural gas are available now. It's very affordable. If you build a power plant today, a gas power plant is less cost intensive than most of the others. Very important issue, the gas infrastructure, which means the grids and all the system which is needed to bring gas in front of your house, is existing today in Europe. Just use it, and the capacity is there. You do not need any extra investment, which is quite important at times where it seems that money is rather rare in Europe. It's reliable. I mean, we have a very wide variety of sources. Gas is produced nearly all around the world. It supplies Europe through pipelines, through liquid natural gas, which comes by boat. It's very flexible, and I think this is one of the main points today. It is the best fuel to be used as a backup for renewables. Because as you know, all renewables are not available all the time, and sometimes you need, in addition, another energy to be used. It's very efficient. So today, the condensing boiler, which is today's technology, I should say, or maybe I will soon say yesterday's technology, but still today's best technology has an efficiency of 98% of gross calorific value. Of course, the gas heat pump will reach much higher efficiencies. It's very secure. I mean, there are huge reserves in the world. While today it's broadly accepted that we have 120 years of gas in front of us, including shale gas, but not including biogas. Perhaps biogas we will go to, I don't know, a few centuries. And I am an engineer in the gas industry for 30 years, and I can tell you that after many studies, the safety record of gas is excellent. Just a few slides I took from my colleagues from Eurogas. Eurogas is the association of gas companies in Europe dealing with political and commercial issues. They have been working quite a lot with our help to present their roadmap 2050 in order to bring some input when discussing with the European Commission, which, as you know, has published a very important document on the 15th of December. Therefore, in this study, we have been looking at all the different sectors where gas is used. The one which is of interest for us today is residential and services, services meaning commercial or light industry. Industry, transport, power. From this study, it has been deducted that using gas can easily help the European Union to reach its goal. The goal today is to, as you know, to reduce the CO2 emission by 80% by 2050, which is a big challenge, by the way, but we think it's possible for us. Well, residential and services. This slide is to briefly remind you some figures about this sector, energy sector in the EU, which accounts for 18% of all CO2 emission of the European Union. There are about 200 million houses or households, 5.5 billion square meters of offices, and 70 or nearly 70% of the energy used in this sector is today for heating. And this is quite an important figure. The two drawings show you in 2010 the final energy demand by fuel. As you can see, gas is today the first one, about 40%, followed by electricity, 30%, oil, and so on. And if you look at the final demand by end use, non-surprisingly, but heating is by far the biggest segment today. The main assumption in this study were the following. I mean, we took into account a percentage of renovation of buildings between 1% and 3% per year, an energy saving potential from 15% to 50%. We also look at some strong evolutions, at least from today's point of view, which is that the new buildings and the new flats in Europe, surprisingly, are smaller than the old ones, or not surprisingly, I don't know. We also took into account the fact that the people will make some effort to reduce the internal temperature of their houses, and of course, all the process to switch to less polluting fuels. If you look at the final demand by end use, if we compare 2010, which is exactly the same as the one you saw before, it's not presented in the same way, and you look at the 2050 roadmap we produce, you could see that heating will decrease in terms of percentage, hot water will increase, and the rest is lighting and electric appliances, cooking, and so on. But nevertheless, that shows that the quantity of energy which will be used in the residential activity in 2050 will be much less than today. Next one. I continue. I think this is even more important, and especially for today's meeting. We try to evaluate the equipment market shares in the residential sector in 2010. As you could see today, by equipment, the gas traditional boilers is still the biggest number by far. The electric is rather important too, 17%. The biomass accounts for 7%. Biomass means wood and so on. Looking at 2050, from our study, which was made by comparing a lot of data, the situation is completely different. And if we want to reach our targets of reducing the CO2 emission by 80%, you could see, not non-surprisingly, but I think it's a good news for you, that the gas heat pumps have a quite important share in our provisions, which is account for 17% in 2050. And we think that without gas heat pump, it will not be possible to reach this target. Well, therefore, there is clearly a strong market opportunity to environmentally friendly products. Gas heat pumps are clearly one of the most important, as I mentioned. It's not the only one, of course. Well, the advantages, I will not come back to them. They have been explained many times during this afternoon. Nevertheless, we think today what is very important is the development of additional products, because we do not have the full range of products today in the gas heat pump to cover all the needs. And I think this is a very, very important issue, and we have to start from now. And therefore, it's a reason why, of course, we fully support it for gas. It's for you, sorry. Just as an information, I would like to mention that there is an initiative which is called Gas Naturally. This is more for information, which has started at the end of 2011 and which will go over the next 6 months. There is a website, which is gasnaturally.eu. The idea, which is promoted by all the EU Gas Association, is to bring the following messages. Using gas will allow a very quick and immediate reduction in CO2 emissions. Gas is today the ideal partner for renewables. The key role of gas should be taken into account in the European documents. And of course, that a stable long-term investment framework needs a clear political signal. This is quite an important message we want to give to the European Union. I think the important event in 2012 will be what we call the Gas Week, between the 23rd and the 27th of April in Brussels. There will be many events, most of them taking place in the European Parliament in Brussels, with different speeches, exhibitions. Maybe we'll go back to you to possibly get some products to be displayed. And we will have different talks with European members of the parliaments, the European Commission, all the European bodies, and all the people interested.